certainly think that there will be an impact, because I think what's most important and what most attracts people to London is the ability to interact with other people and have fun. And if they're banned from doing that, the advantages of being in London diminish very considerably. They might still come to London if they have to do so for work, but they're less likely to. The excitement is in the bars, in the restaurants, in the clubs, in the dance venues, in the music venues, all these things where London is probably the best in the world. And that's why they want to be in London.
Businesses are currently on a learning curve. They did try to prepare beforehand, but particularly because the deal was eventually signed so late in the day, there were some things that businesses just didn't know exactly what was going to be required of them until the 24th of December when we had the final deal agreed. And some of the drop-off in trade that we've seen so far may be temporary as businesses figure out how to comply with the new rules. But some will undoubtedly be permanent, and businesses will be finding that it may not any longer make sense to trade with partners in the EU, and businesses in the EU may find it's not worth trading with partners in the UK because of these additional costs.
The incentive for London being a European financial centre rather than a world financial centre are quite low. I think that there's a lot of talk about London in effect merging with New York, and that would be 70% of the international financial market. And the only thing that's stopping it happening effectively is that London is not entering into negotiations until it's seen how far it's possible to make progress on an equivalent basis. But if it's not possible to make progress on an equivalent basis, I think that London will start looking elsewhere. Two big changes in London from where it has been before. I think, first of all, London, the financial markets of London will become much more American. There will probably be a deal between London and New York, and a much more seamless market between Britain and Asia and the United States. I think that will be one big change financially. I think the second thing is that London, the cost of living in London, which has traditionally been very high, that will come down, because I think there will be some empty property and different people will move in. But I think London could become a much younger place.